In 2010, Dave Gifford took over the reins of VCU Soccer. In the time since, VCU has become a perennial NCAA tournament-bound team and a force to be reckoned with on the national stage. It was the vision of Coach Gifford and the tireless work of VCU student-athletes that has led the Rams to this period of prominence. VCU has become an attractive destination for some of the world's finest players. An urban university in the heart of Richmond, Virginia, VCU provides its student-athletes with top-flight facilities, amenities, and the opportunity to become the very best they can be, both on and off the pitch.
You know, just looking at VCU, the community, the school itself has, has grown, tremendously in the last 9-10 years. I mean, if you head around campus, I'm not sure what the number's up to now, but it's some ridiculous number in terms of what VCU has spent on improving the infrastructure, the facilities for students, and I think that was something that caught my attention the first time I stepped on campus. And I know as guys get around with their families on visits, one of the things that they always mention is how impressed they are with with the facilities and how the school's a lot different than what they kind of had in their mind and expected it to be. And obviously the ability to play is dictated sometimes by the surface, and so we've got a great training facility at Bryant Park. To have 5 full Bermuda fields that we have access to every morning, and nobody else is out there with us, and to be able to set up a training environment where we can have 2, 3, 4 fields going, and that's unique in college. Facility is wonderful. It's a really nice surface. It's a great atmosphere. To have 3,500 plus. Capacity, to have seat backs, to have game day locker rooms, to have luxury suites and press box and all these different things at the game. Certainly it's a place that guys like to play. And soccer is a sport that everybody feels like, what we've got going, we can compete for a national championship. And so I think we get a lot of support and help along those lines to help our student athletes not only have a great experience, but to develop and grow during their time here.
The strength of any structure is the foundation, and a solid one has already been laid here at VCU over the course of the last 4 years, and the full potential of what can be accomplished for VCU has barely come into focus.
If you look at the last 4 years, we really have come a long way. Obviously on the field and looking at the numbers and just kind of the team that we had when we got here in 2010. The guys had finished, I think it was 161st in the RPI out of 205 teams, the year before we got here. And obviously have made a lot of improvements there in 4 years to be in at large the last 2 years, to be a seed 2 years ago. And then, obviously to kind of put ourselves in what I would say is the top 25 teams in the country, and proud of our style, and even in a short period of time, everywhere we kind of go around the country, people know how we play and what we do, and I think that's a testament to our players and to what we're doing here at VCU.
If you want to be the best, you have to play the best. And for the Rams, there's no truer statement. Playing a top-ranking schedule year in and year out, VCU looks to challenge themselves all the time. Boasting back-to-back NCAA tournament at-large berths, the rest of the nation acknowledges the high level of play at VCU.
Year in and year out, what I would consider to be one of the very best schedules in the country. Certainly out of conference, I could argue that, every year we're going to play the top out of conference schedule in the country. But those are 20 times, 25 times that you get a chance during the year to play against outside competition. I think it's more important and more valuable the environment that you're in for training every day and how many good players you're competing with and against. It's great to get to the test on the weekend or the test midweek to play against the other top programs, and we're always going to do that. But I think one of the things now that's different than what it was 4 years ago, and certainly what it even was 2 or 3 years ago, is we're deep. 1 through whatever we have each year, everybody can play. And everybody's fighting for their life, and that competition, I think, brings out the very best in competitive people. And so I think as a player, you're shaped day in and day out with those that you're in competition with. And our guys, you really see a large growth from day one when they step on campus and until they finish with us. And I think a lot of that has to do not only with our schedule, which is really strong, but really has as much or more to do with the people that they're competing with and against every day.
With top flight talent stepping foot on campus every year, Rams going on to play at the next level has become the norm, and 10 Rams signed professional contracts during the Dave Gifford era.
VCU, you come here to get an education, to develop as a player, and to work toward reaching your potential. And most of the guys come here, because they want to be a pro. And those are the two areas that they focus on. They focus on soccer and school. As we've gone through this over the last several years, there have been a lot of guys who've come maybe less heralded than others, but because of the environment that we're able to create, they can develop and they can grow. And I think a lot of the guys, in this year's senior class are good examples of that. We're looking for guys who have pieces to their game that in the right environment, what kind of gains could they make over the next 3, 4, 5 years. And I think we've been, as a coaching staff, we've been fortunate to identify and find players who, can have some tools that I think allow them to, in that time frame, develop and be able to compete at the highest level.
A shift in the mindset has occurred at VCU. The mentality has gone from hoping to win to expecting to win, and the prospect of many more victories to come is very high.
We won at Maryland, we won at Akron. We had wins at home with Indiana and St. Louis. We did a lot of things that, a lot of programs could look back and have never accomplished over the course of 50, 60 years. And we did all those things in a 2-month period, 3-month period. I think that piece really gave that group of guys and the players in our team the belief and the understanding that, we're one of the top teams in the country. And so, if we just go out and perform well and do the things that we're supposed to do, we expect and we should go into every game expecting to win.